The first kind of Eurodance bass that everyone will learn is the offbeat bass. In order to reach this, you're going to right click and you're going to go 1/8 and hold B, and then you're going to drop it in your root key. From there, 1/8, 1.3, boom, boom, boom. Kick will hit here, 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 here. Theory of this is that usually you don't need a sidechain for this type of bass because the kick should end at the half mark. Beautiful, right? So this is the first one most people will learn. From there, you can evolve into a more syncopated style of bass. Now, from there, if we do command 1 or command 1 on the grid, we can grab certain ones and hit command E. This will allow us to split it in half, creating a more groovier rhythm, essentially having 2 MIDI notes hit. If we do another command 1 and shift left, we can also shorten that if we want to work fast. Command 2. And you can add these to keep things interesting throughout. You can add them at the end of the bars. For instance, a lot of people will do it after every 2 bars. And that adds a lot of groove to it as well. So you can syncopate some of these if you feel it's needed for the bass, so it doesn't sound too boring. From there, we can create the rolling bass. The rolling bass is more of a trancier alternative. I hear it more on more melodic style of Eurodance tracks, but do not fret. If your brain wants to create that idea, don't judge it, just do it. So the way we do that is we want to be in a 16th grid, and you want to input the MIDI note on the, not on the beat, but on the and, offbeat and then you're going to grab, duplicate that across. Up. And that's the rolling bass. Okay. Some advanced techniques with the rolling bass, just in case you're there already, is that if you have properly designed patches like the one I'm using currently, and you have a velocity routed to certain parameters, you can definitely bring this to life a little more, randomize it. Velocity is a feature. It's essentially data that you're going to be feeding into Ableton, and that data goes to the synth or the VST plugin or whatever your MIDI instrument is. And if that MIDI instrument has that velocity routed to things like volume, certain modulation, certain knobs, you can control those knobs with the velocity feature in Ableton, which is super clutch, by the way, because it's just like, it brings stuff to life. People will always come to me and book lessons like, what is the difference between a professional producer and an amateur? Things like that, you know? And it doesn't mean you have to go crazy like this. It just means that you want it to, you want to humanize, bring it to life. So let's add a little hint of it. You could do that. Okay, or you could have it be a more modified version of the rolling bass where the middle note goes up an octave. Okay, now this one, you know, if that last one was trancy, this one is, you know, we're way trancier than Armin right now. we're like back in the 2000s, bro. So this one is definitely gonna be more of the trancier sorts. Okay. Now, as we do this, keep in mind that the basses we're creating can always change. You can be unique, you can be creative with it. The main important thing that we haven't been doing is harmonizing the basses. In this video, we're just learning a bit of the theory of the rhythms that we can give to bass lines, okay? But if I wanted to harmonize, then I would just go, you know, and then just do that. But that's how it's gonna sound. Nice. Okay, pretty dope, right? So that's the rolling bass. From there, we start getting into what I call smack basses, or basses that are a little bit more groovier and allow for a little bit more syncopation. Okay, so these basses, the way we create them is that we can land with the kicks, and we want to abuse the ands a lot. So remember, the ands will be the notes in between the offbeat and the kick. Here, here. Okay, they're usually landing on 16ths. Okay, so if you want to do that, we can start with the first one on the kick. And there we go. That's more, no, it's more like, like you want to, whoop, whoop. Like so, or either one's right. That one's a bit dodgy, but There we go. Could do that. That's fine as well. And usually these will land with the kick, by the way. There we go. And the cool thing about these ones, they make the track feel a lot slower. It's not as energetic. But sometimes when you're writing a song, that might be what the idea in your brain is, right? So you want to get it out. So you might go with these ones. Now, these ones, there's a lot of variations, and I've made a couple of MIDIs for you guys so you can download for free. The link will be in the description. This will also come with 15 Serum presets and a few previews of my favorite samples from a new sample pack called Pappy Trance. Pappy Trance. I got to say it the right way. Pappy Trance. Which is going to be the first volume. I've made 2 volumes for it. It's a Eurodance pack, and I want to see how you guys enjoy the sounds. If it clicks, if we click, you know, like, man, I'll be making sounds for you guys so that you can make the music that you envision. Let me be your sound designer, and you make the hits. You go DJ, take the glory, but let me enjoy the sound design process. Okay, so there's a couple here, and the reason I want to bring them up is, again, I looked at some famous songs like Mr. Vain, some of the older ones. There was one, I think, dude, I get older, bro. My mind's going to crap. It's not that I'm BSing or anything, but I full and then rhythm as a dancer. So I was looking at those. So I just, you know, got the rhythms and made them for you guys. Again, makes it feel so much slower, right? But let's see if we start to harmonize. Just how that sounds. Not shabby, if I say so myself. Oh, that one note's. Let's do another one. Hey, I'm not too bad, am I? Maybe I am. But you guys can see, it's not hard to make good music. It's not hard to make something that sounds decent. It's all about having the right sounds and the right mindset and the right inspiration. So again, there's going to be a lot more here so that we can go through. But let me see. We are missing the horse gallops Eurodance bass. So this one's a bit interesting, because it's similar to the rolling bass 16th, but you're only hitting the offbeat and then the and that comes after the offbeat, but you're not hitting the one that comes after the kick. That just means you're going to have this, which I like because it's super energetic and it makes it feel like you're riding a horse. No pun intended there. Super cool. Super dope. From there, there's one bass that I have forgotten that I didn't do into MIDI, and that's because it, you know, like, it requires a little bit of music theory, but not a lot. It's basic stuff. So pick your scale that you're in, like, let's say G minor. Okay, and then from there, we have what we would call an ARP bass. So ARP basses usually follow up, you know, like a chord. Essentially, start playing the 3 notes of a chord. For instance, in G, that would be G, A sharp, and D. We instead play them individually, creating an ARP bass. And we can do that by moving this here like this. And again, you don't have to play it like just going up. You can do it in multiple ways. This is what we would call a 5th bass, because we're playing the 5th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a strong relationship between the root note and the 5th note. It's very strong. So we can have that. We can then start to do the ARP bass like this. Now if we move, we can move. This one's not as common, but it exists. And there we go. Let's move the cutoff a little lower so that way it's not opening up all the way. And now let's pick the right notes for it. The other kind of Eurodance bass that I can't really show involves the sidechain. of a bass. So I've made a couple for this Pappy Trance Volume 1 pack, which is coming out at the end of this week. And I'm going to show you guys how they sound. The idea of this bass is that you need a sound that's going to sustain out, and then you're going to sidechain it heavily. Okay, now I've done most of the work for you. There you go. And it sounds like this. Now this is more of a modern take on it, that's for sure. And again, you have this version, which is with the sidechain. Then you have more of the offbeat like version that we already talked about. But the way you create this one, and again, you don't have to buy the pack. I'll show you guys how to do it. In fact, let's use something that's not mine. We can go with anything really. Like we just need something that sustains out. Like that. Play it at the optimal range. I'm gonna grab a kickstart 2, drop it in. We like these because these are volume automators. Okay, they just automate volume depending on the shape we have. And we want something very sudden, like so. And that's it. You gotta find a good bass. Yeah, there you go, modern fapping, bro. What kind of name? There we go. You can see that you do need the right. They aren't hitting as right as the one that I showed you guys, right, from Pappy Trance Volume 1. But you can find some good ones. Okay, that one should be good if we go down. There you go. But again, people were saying, isn't this just at like adding kickstart when I was showing some of the basses from the Eurodance? And it kind of is, but it's kind of not, because the basses are being created and to be used for Eurodance. Versus when you just throw a kickstart on multiple sounds, as you just saw, they can fall really flat and it makes it hard for you to find. And in this world, time is precious. And I know a lot of you guys work. So if you can work fast and get the desired result quicker, why not? So let's do that. Or, well, that's a Reese, but there you go. There you go. That's a rolling bass. That's modern, nice. But anyways, point being here, I don't want to show off the pack. You guys will see an overview video for that. But in this video, I just want to show you guys some of the options you have when it comes to Eurodance bass lines. It's good to know what your options are so that when you create music, it's less intimidating. You know, you have, if you know, okay, I can do these things and you're suffering from writer's block, then you at least can write something down. And it's better to write to something that has at least a sentence or a paragraph because it gives you an idea of where to take it versus a blank sheet of paper, believe it or not. So it's always good to set limitations. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, dope. Like I said, I have a free demo for you guys to download. In the description, I've compiled some of my favorite sounds and some of my favorite samples from the new Pappy Trance Volume 1 pack that I have coming out at the end of this week. You don't have to buy the pack, download it, use the samples in any way or form. Those are some of my favorite ones, and I hope you guys enjoy them. I hope they help you create the music you want to create. And I'll catch you guys next time for another video. You guys take care and peace out.